Now, my favorite theory, this is one I really have some fun with, that aliens have not landed on the Earth and said, take me to your leader, is what I'd like to call the what's the matter with these people theory. Basically, the aliens have flown by, they've seen our planet, they've seen our technology, and the first thing that pops into their head is, what's the matter with these people? I'm going to quote Dr. Kaku for the first time. I'm not going to quote, but I'm going to bring up an idea that he talked about. I watched a video that Michio Kaku was speaking in. It's called Sci-Fi or Sci-Fact. It's a great video. It's on YouTube. Please check it out. And he talked about radio waves that are being emitted from Earth by our technology. All the radio waves that have emitted TV signals, radio signals over the last 50 years, they're still going in every direction at the speed of light. So for about 50 light years all around the Earth in every single direction, there are all these radio waves. Now, an alien spacecraft is just kind of wandering along, traveling through the atmosphere, and it picks up these radio waves. It's able to detect them, and it analyzes them. And in Mr. Kaku's words, it picks up the masterpieces of our artistic genius. He mentions I Love Lucy and Beavis and Butthead, and I tossed in a couple of The Honeymooners and Let's Make a Deal, an old game show from the 70s. Basically, in Mr. Kaku's mind, aliens seeing this would shake their heads and say, we're not going to Earth, there's no intelligent life down there. It's really funny, but it's a very, very, very good point. Radio waves leaving Earth at the speed of light do carry every radio program, TV program, movie, made-for-TV movie, you name it. Anything we have broadcast is off it goes. And, alien species trying to sift through this would find one very common theme: violence. Our history is wrapped in it. Even if they only look at the documentaries, they will find, incidents after incidents of wars, violence, attacks, just unspeakable acts that have happened through our lifetime. Is it possible that an alien race finding these is not violent, abhors violence, hasn't used violence in their entire evolution? And what would happen to them? What would happen to their mentality if they see us? They have this complete pacifistic attitude. They don't even have weapons of any kind whatsoever. And yet they see us destroying each other, destroying ourselves, destroying our environment, everything around us. They'd be appalled. They would refuse to go anywhere near Earth. They would probably even set up laws saying, if you go near Earth, don't come back. We will enforce some kind of pacifistic law punishing you probably for the rest of your life. It's possible. We don't know what an alien society is what their morals are going to be like. They may abhor violence of any kind. Absolutely, under no circumstances do you harm or hurt anyone or anything. Period. End of subject. And if a society like that saw us, they'd probably faint. They would faint and crash their spaceship because they all just went, if we look at these transmissions again, another topic. Some other masterpieces that are actually some favorites of mine, i.e. War of the Worlds, classic from the 50s called Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original The Day the Earth Stood Still, as well as the remake with Keanu Reeves, and last, of course, not least, Independence Day. These are all movies about alien invasions. Aliens might see this and think, if we go down there, they're going to start shooting at us because they think we're going to invade. Let's let's see if we can figure out a diplomatic way of talking to these people so that we don't get shot. Who knows? Maybe they get their best minds on it and they're tossing these things around in their head and they end up just coming up with a dead end. And finally they say, you know what, screw it. If we go down there, they're going to shoot at us. We're not going to bother. They're not worth it. And off they go. And then we never see them again. Again, it comes down to the fact that we don't know what their societies are going to be like. We don't know if they're going to be able to pick up our technology at all. And, really that could cause a lot of confusion, and it could be the number one reason why, UFOs have come down to Earth, looked around, and then left without landing. Because, look at our society, and they're just like, forget it. They're out of here. Now, let's take that even farther. let's assume that maybe they're flying around our world right now. Even as I speak, there may be an alien spaceship hovering over my head, maybe a mile or two up in the air, that we can't see. They have stealth technology, none of our sensors can pick it up, and it's looking down on us, trying to figure out something, anything at all, that they can use to try and contact us. They know there's intelligent life, but they have no idea how to talk to us. You know, think about it. Their languages are probably not going to originate from the same kind of languages we have. And even if they did, they're so far advanced from us that they may have even come up with completely brand new languages. I mean, think about it. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics were completely unknown to historians until we found the Rosetta Stone. Unless aliens have that Rosetta Stone key, their ability to talk to us is probably going to be severely hampered, if they will be able to talk to us at all. And that is assuming they can even detect and read our transmissions at all. I'd like to bring up one very interesting point that came to my mind when I think about aliens reading our transmissions. And here's an example I want to use. Let's say you take an old telegraph, you know, one of those little tapper things, beep, 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 and you tap out Morse code, hoping to reach a cell phone. You won't. The two technologies were both made on Earth, however, they're incompatible. A telegraph in Morse code cannot communicate with a cell phone. The signal sources they use are just too different. They're not compatible. On top of that, even if you were somehow able to wire a telegraph to call a cell phone, if you just call anybody, chances are they're not going to know Morse code. Most people don't. Only a few do. And even then, most people only know SOS. So if you type, you know, hi there, people of Earth, take me to your leader, all I'm going to hear, and it's just going to go, yeah, hang up. You know, probably even call their provider, say, something wrong with your phones. So, I mean, aliens are probably facing that. Only that would be a little bit more like, let's see here, wrote it down here. An alien ship wandering by would be receiving the equivalent of Morse code in Klingon, played at 1 beat per minute for short, 1 beat for 2 minutes for long, as randomly strung on strings of an electric guitar. Okay? It was going to be very, very difficult for them to translate our language, assuming they can even pick up the signal. Like I said, you know, you're also looking at a telegraph machine trying to call a cell phone. The cell phone's not going to pick up the image from a telegraph machine. The reverse is true too. You can't call a telegraph machine from a cell phone. It just isn't going to work. So the technology might be so advanced that they simply don't know that we have technology. Probably they you know, unless they come close enough to see our satellites, to see the buildings, that was the only way they will know. And I think that is the only way they do know that we're here. And in my mind, that is actually the most probable reason why they have come here and left. They can't talk to us. They don't know how. They can't transmit with our technology. They've been trying to study us. They don't know enough about us to be able to communicate. And that's, quite frankly, the most probable part of that particular scenario. I did say it was most probable. That's the most probable part of that scenario.